They have 1.3 delays, and are usually delayed approximately 4 years. That might be max. I might be switching the 4 delays to 1.3 years, but it's pretty big. Like, they have not successfully ever released a game on time. Everything other than Civilization 4, which was a big Civilization 5, which has been a big hit for them, very successful. They actually released an expansion pack relatively soon for this game. So that came off pretty easily. But other than that, everything they've had has been delayed. It's been really late. Max Payne 3 was delayed a couple times. Max Payne 3 is the end of the trilogy. It completes the story of Max Payne. And
I like that they factored in the age of the character.
That's
He's a little bit slower, a little bit more run down.
It's funny, Max Payne, if you look at over the games, there's 3 different characters play Max Payne, 3 different actors play Max Payne. There has been, they base these characters off certain looks. If you notice the first one, the guy is like Johnny Knoxville. I'm not really sure what the second guy looks like, or the third guy. Actually, the third guy looks like the voice actor who plays him. So they actually, the same voice actor has played him for all 3 roles, but he's looked very differently for all 3 of them. This is the first time they're actually making him look like the voice actor, which if you played L.A. Noire is another trick Rockstar did, is they facial captured all the voice actors. So
a lot of recognizable television actors slipped in there.
So since you are from L.A., what was your opinion about L.A. Noire?
Well, it didn't resemble the L.A. I've ever been a part of, but it certainly captured the spirit of the city. And it took me back to all those nights watching Hollywood Boulevard on VHS, roasting marshmallows, sitting back.
Yes, roasted marshmallows sitting back. I think we've all been there. I guess you have your own camera now.
Yeah, it's just about me now. I'm taking over.
All right. So do you have anything else to add?
I don't really have much to say about LA. I try to get away from it. I spend a lot of time in New England nowadays, sleeping on people's couches, odd jobs on the side.
So Max Payne 3, I've not played it yet. I'm looking forward to it. GameSpot, I get confused with the store. GameSpot gave it a 9.0. Really great game. Check it out if you play on the Xbox. If you're like me, wait, and I'll keep waiting. I'll wait with you, and together we will all wait together. Yes. Okay. Next topic. Dark Shadows, or as I like to say, Dark Flops.
Well, I mean,
there's supposed to be a title there. That's why I went like that, but. Yeah, they're Dark Flops.
Who was the audience for that movie? Based on a 1960s soap opera that's hardly remembered.
It's very fondly remembered.
By people like us that talk about this stuff.
No, I mean, like, the 50-year-old crowd loves it.
But they had that audience, and they targeted, the whoever Tim Burton's fans are after Ed Wood.
I think some time has went by since Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's, I'm saying, the last substantial Burton movie.
What about anything else he's done since then?
I liked Big Fish. I'll give it up for Big Fish.
What about Alice in Wonderland?
Alice in Wonderland was largely disappointing in terms of fan reviews and critical reviews.
All right, what about
might be the only holdout on that.
What about Willy Wonka?
All right, Willy Wonka had its moments, but no one's ever going to beat Gene Wilder.
All right, so I guess we're going to quickly switch to the next topic. Actually, we're going to go back to the next
We can talk about Dark Shadows itself.
Yeah, but somebody...
okay. They kicked us into high gear.
No, we'll talk about Dark Shadows for a little bit, yeah. So it cost $150 million to make, opposed to, I think, what was it? Avengers was $220, I think, to make, $220 million.
Avengers would have been shocking if it failed at the box office, though.
No, I'm not saying it wouldn't, but they spent a lot of money on this movie. They planned very poorly to release it only a week after the biggest hit of the summer is going to be Avengers. It is going to just destroy everybody this summer. But they decided, you know what, let's just wait 1 week. 1 week to release this movie. And I think that really ended up hurting them in the long run. I think that people just spent all their dollars and wanted to see it again and spent more of their dollars. I really think that that was a very, very hard movie to follow.
Well, I think it would have benefited from about 2 less subplots. I mean, they had the daughter suddenly a werewolf, which was a nod to the cousin character from the original program, but still kind of lost on the audience when you just toss that into the mix.
But funny enough, they did mention something interesting in the dinner scene when the main character is talking to the family, and I think you just spoiled
Barnabas?
it. No, not Barnabas. The kid. The kid.
David.
David. When David is talking to his family, he says something about her making dog sounds at night.
Cat sounds.
Cat sounds.
Either way, I think, not saying it was never alluded to, but it just didn't need to happen. Could have been more just focused on Barnaby, maybe had a few little twists and turns with the family. But
do you think that those things alone don't get revealed until you go see the movie? Do you think that really kept people away from the movie?
I don't think that's what hurt its chances at the box office. I think the Avengers comparison is pretty much the problem.
Yeah.
They probably would have made a ton of money from teenagers to 40s crowd.
The 50s crowd.
And yeah, I'm sure there's those people that actually remember it and think it's going to be a recreation of the old eerie program and not a comedy.
Yeah, so it was a silly comedy. It was pretty goofy at times. But there's moments in it where Barnabas goes back to this really dark, mean person at times, and he makes no bones about it. That's who he truly is.
Well, he's not your run-of-the-mill high school vampire.
He's not Edward.
Has a body count by the end of the film.
He has a pretty good body count. Call in here, 203-265-6310. Hopefully we have some good special callers later in this evening. All right, let's talk about the next topic. Why does America hate Johnny Depp?
I don't know if America is specifically against Johnny Depp just because he's had declining box office returns.
This guy has had every movie he has done. Rum Diaries.
Don't hate Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's the man.
See, the crew loves Johnny Depp.
But the crew's in America, apparently. The crew could be the foreign audiences love Johnny Depp more than ever. His movies are hits overseas.
Well, that's because he's the guy that resides in France in a villa.
Well, did when you were following the Doobie Brothers tribute band, did they ever go to the south of France?
They mostly play Worcester, Massachusetts. They get around Worcester. They come outside of Worcester maybe once a year.
That's why you're down here.
Yeah. They picked Wallingford because it resembles like an old rundown industrial revolution city.
Like Worcester.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the next best thing.
Yes. But yeah, it's amazing how he has had a sharp decline in movies. The Rum Diaries, that movie should have done better than it did. I think only
that wasn't like the Princess Diaries. That was the Rum Diary.
Rum Diary.
That's all right. I like that take.
Yeah.
We don't want to get sued by Johnny Depp anytime soon.
I think he has other things to worry about than suing us.
Apparently, America's against him.
Well, the overseas market loves him. His movies have steadily increased and have done well overseas. The last Pirates movie was by far the best for him overseas.
Well, when are Americans going to go see a movie about a novel? I mean, they like their popcorn flicks. That's what people are going to turn out for.
Twilight was about a novel.
You're calling that a novel?
The producer, their publishers did. They made tons of money.
All right, fine.
Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Shoot me down with these rare examples.
They're huge major blockbusters. Like every year there's a big movie coming out of a book. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Not only was that based on a book, it was based on a foreign film.
I'll let you have it.
Okay,
We'll make it about Johnny Depp.
Yes, but other than that, what was the movie that he did before?
He did The Tourist, which just looked bad. I think that had everything to do with the movie being terrible, not the actor. Pirates of the Caribbean. Those films were popular because of him, because of his quirky character, but I think they would have been hits regardless. He just has been choosing, lesser films.
But, yeah, do you think that is possibly, with those four movies, probably by the third movie, I'd say, he hit his all-time peak. It was just like everything Johnny Depp. Everybody loves Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's the greatest actor since Tom Hanks.
I mean, he could have his comeback.
But
if you put him in the next Marvel movie, he'll be famous again.
But he wouldn't do the Marvel movie, though. That's the thing. It's not Johnny Depp.
Well, then what makes it that Johnny Depp has to be the leading man? He might go back to the early part of his career
Or
where he picked very oddball films.
Or the first 3 Pirates movies where he was not the main character at all.
Well, he was by the
third one.
By the end.
But he was dead the whole third one. Pretty much the whole third one, though.
Yeah.
He was running around in his own head.
They filmed it.
Yeah.
It's not like he wasn't on the screen.
Yes, he was there. But it's really about... The main character of the Pirates movie is really Keira Knightley. She is the main character.
Oh, yeah. She's the heart of that film.
It's about her journey.
That is about her. And, the other guy, Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom is less of an important part by halfway through the second movie, where it's like, is she going to choose Johnny or is she going to choose Orlando? Ooh, Twilight's popular. Let's do a movie like that. Give us a call in. Ooh, we have a new... They did something back and gave us a nice new lower third. 265 6301. I think we're going to go to a PSA soon.
All right.
Maybe.
Who are we supporting these days? Tyman.
We're going to keep going. We support a lot of people. We're supporting the youth.
Oh, yeah. What about the troops?
The troops.
That's all I really care about.
The Boy Scouts of America.
Oh, yeah. They're like young troops.
Yeah, young troops.
Combines the whole thing.
They're the youth and the troops. Yeah, we're supporting them. We're supporting senior citizens.
Not a very controversial list.
Yeah.
Keeping it safe.
Yeah.
So what are we moving on from Dark Shadows to?
At some point we'll move on to a PSA, but we got to draw it out a little bit.
So what's the definitive word on Johnny Depp? You think his career is done?
I never said that.
Or you think he's just gonna ride a Tim Burton Zeppelin to his demise?
I think the more that you're associated with Tim Burton, you have to deal with his craziness. And look at Mark Wahlberg. He hasn't gone back, and he's done very fine since him.
All right.
All right, so I think it's time for a PSA now. I'll see you in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Don't change the dial. Tyman On Tap with Harold Bigsby at my side.
It's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Takeout meals for just $12.99. Call now.
Sherry Pearson? You are the sole surviving heir of the King of Montanopolis, and you are now worth $45 million.
I'm rich! It can't be real.
Of course it's not real. Come on. Having money isn't about luck. Like that takeout meal. Cook at home instead, you can save thousands a year. Feed me.
Feed the pig.
I understand you need a little help with your mortgage. Want to avoid foreclosure. Candy? Well, you're in luck. We're experts in this sort of thing. Mortgage, rigmarole, whatnot.
In the event of a car crash, 3 out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
And we're back. That was much faster than 20 seconds. That was about 5.
Our crew calculates time in a very unusual way, like instantaneous.
The new F word. All right.
I'm not going to even wager a guess because I'm going to be bleeped off the air.
The new F word is jailbreak.
Doesn't even start with the letter I was hoping for.
If you haven't noticed, the past 24 hours or so, Apple has been blocking songs, podcasts, apps, ebooks, anything Apple sells, they have been blocking because of the word jailbreak, because jailbreak means jailbreaking your iPhone. So that has become kind of an issue. It's really unique, weird censorship. If you didn't know, about, say, 3 or 4 months ago, there was an app called Pokemon Yellow, which Apple supposedly spot checks every app and sees that for good quality if they can put it on the market. They didn't, so they stole about $2 from 14 million people or something ridiculous like that. But now, you can't have the word jailbreak in it. Things that got censored: Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, one of your all-time favorite non-Doobie Brothers songs.
Oh, I mean, I celebrate the whole Thin Lizzy catalog. Dancing in the Moonlight, come on. It's got to be a top 10 hit somewhere.
Somewhere. Maybe in their town in Ireland that they're from.
Yeah, could be.
Hopefully it's a top 10 hit. Hopefully your town loves you. I know my town loves me. And I know if you love me, you'll give me a call at 203-265-6310. So yeah,
you really just hate that number, don't you?
It's just very difficult to say.
That doesn't really ring true.
Well, it's not ringing. Let's turn the volume up in case we do get a call. All right, that's good. That was not somebody calling in. Don't worry, that was not anybody. So yeah, they also blocked the first episode of the Roy Rogers show called Jailbreak.
Are people still watching the Roy Rogers show?
Apparently, it's selling on iTunes.
Man, there's some nostalgic people on iTunes nowadays.
Well, you know, when you can cheaply import your back catalog into iTunes, you kind of have to do it.
Yeah, might as well.
But
I've been watching a lot of Petticoat Junction, but not the later seasons.
Wow, I'm getting a call.
I'll take it.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello? Somebody here. Hello? You're out here, sir.
I'd like to order a large cheese pizza.
Okay.
The old cheese pizza trick.
Well, at least we have one caller.
Yeah.
You're still there, sir? All right.
Good times. I like to think that was a member of the crew.
Hopefully.
I don't think it actually was. That's a very menacing pizza order.
Is this like Scream?
I'm ordering a pizza from down the street.
Well, I'm not sure who that person was, but that's good because that's one viewer I'm not accounting for. That's somebody in my office. Or
they're still in the air, huh?
Somebody's calling.
Oh, they want another pizza.
Hello. Guess not. Man, I would love a call screener right about now. So yes, so the Roy Rogers show was censored on the Apple Store. Do you think they're overreaching to try to prevent people from using the word jailbreak?
I think that's censorship really gone mad. I mean, Ray Bradbury wouldn't stand for that. Neither should we.
Ray Bradbury wouldn't stand for a lot of things.
Ray Bradbury does not do much standing nowadays.
That is true, but it's funny because you can't search for the word jailbreak now, and that means you can't search for a podcast or an app that helps you jailbreak your phone. So
it's really an obscene invasion of people's rights to say jailbreak, among other things.
Yeah, so jailbreak, it's a new app.
I never even knew it had anything to do with Apple products.
Well, now you do. So they're actually bringing more attention onto the subject than ever before.
Yeah?
Yeah, how about that?
I think we should have a class action lawsuit against them.
It'd be settled in arbitration.
That's right. We all agreed to that, didn't we?
Yes.
Law at work.
When you sign up for an iTunes account, you automatically agree that any dispute you have with them will be settled in binding arbitration. So if you get real pissed off, an arbitrator will see you. And then if they don't like the arbitrator, they will later fire the arbitrator if they agree with you. So of course they're not going to agree with you.
They used to say the most common lie was the answer to "How are you doing?" with "I'm fine," and now it's "I agree to the terms and conditions," and I've read them. Because people just breeze through all these legally binding contracts just to get their $1.29 songs.
They're actually like 69 cents to $1.29 now.
Well, I haven't been keeping up with the song markets. I only buy just tapes, a lot of tapes.
A lot of tapes. So what happens when your tape player breaks?
Buy a new one, man.
Oh.
They still sell them.
Do they?
Yeah.
What, I can turn it up?
Everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere is a cassette player.
Oh, speaking of cassettes going out of business, the record store on Broadway in Yale, which has been in business for about 61 years, actually 61 years exact, is going out of business.
What, with all the hipsters in New Haven, they can't keep going?
Well, I think what happened is nobody's buying CDs anymore. Nobody's buying tapes besides you anymore. people are buying vinyls, and I don't think they really. I think they got caught in a place where they kept moving forward to deal with the college crowd. Now they're all out on these albums or on these CDs. Now they're trying to get back to the albums, and they just can't do it.
Well, if you want to get Wilson Phillips' back catalog, the cheapest way to do it is on tape. And I think that's just going to keep the market alive somewhere, somehow.
But not on Broad Street near Yale.
No, but that's just really amazes me that they don't have a big enough vinyl crowd that's keeping that place going.
Well, I think that their selection has moved away from vinyl. Over 61 years, you know.
Yeah, they got to try to keep up with FYE and all those places, which are now barely alive.
Strawberries.
Strawberries.
Sam Goodies.
Yeah. All frequents of my youth.
Yeah, back in the day, Coconuts, another one.
Yeah, I used to be able to get concert tickets at Strawberries.
And Filene's.
And Filene's, right next to the fur coats.
Yeah, the little Ticketmaster, the little guy like, here's your tickets.
I think you're really pushing me now, Joe. Killing my memories of Filene's.
All right, well, that wasn't really a topic I had much planned for, but it's something we should note. The record store.
It's really shocking.
Yeah, and you know, if you haven't been down Broad Street in Yale, near Yale, go before the record store closes. You can hit up Barnes & Noble, which is kind of crummy because it's also a college bookstore. And somebody,
don't hit it up.
Yeah, don't go there.
Forget about it.
But just in Hat Trick.
The crew's getting really upset.
There's something going on back there. It's like a party that we're not invited to.
Oh yeah, this guy's really raging.
Yeah. Well, so they had.
Oh, we're talking about whales, are we?
Not yet. We're not talking about anything. This is not a topic I planned for.
I'm ready for whales. I've been briefed on whales.
Yes. Stop cycling through these. You're ruining the show for everybody.
All those people out there.
The person that wanted to order a large pizza. Yes, call it. But yeah, so if you go down there, go hit up the Apple Store, go to Aubon Pond and get a nice iced tea. Go to all the local shops. Go to that little grocery store. Go get some records. Go get a cheeseburger there. Go get some pizza. You know, there's all these great little places. And if you haven't been down there, just take a look at it down there. So next topic, we're actually going to go on to what you saw earlier, Hat Trick. So, an interesting turn of events today. Comcast has announced they are stopping their data caps on their home internet plans. That's pretty big. I believe before it was 250 gigabytes. 150?
250 on Comcast, 150 on AT&T.
Okay, so they removed their caps, which is great for all you internet pirates out there downloading Rosetta Stone and complete discographies of the Brian Setzer Orchestra.
I sent Bing Crosby's entire catalog across an instant message. It took about 2.5 days.
Really?
Yeah, and I exceeded my data package and or plan. Got charged $50.
That is tough.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of renditions of White Christmas.
There's only one White Christmas you really want, though.
Yeah, you want the one from the film.
What about Perry Como White Christmas? Were you a fan of that?
I have a big problem with Perry Como. Goes back years. I don't want to get into it.
All right, we won't touch that. But yeah, this is a really interesting turn of events where internet plans are forcing their users to use less and less. The CEO of AT&T was originally asked, "Do you have any regrets about the iPhone?" He said, "Yes, one. We originally allowed unlimited data plans." So they really want to. It looks like they're losing the net neutrality. It looks like net neutrality will end up happening in some way, shape, or form. But what we will end up losing on, which will basically end net neutrality, is putting data caps and limiting how much data you can use. They consult the people who don't use a lot of internet, saying, "Why should you pay for somebody sending Bing Crosby's complete collection over Instant Messenger?" However, it does raise the cost of internet for everybody, and it makes people who love Netflix, who they won't actually, when they try to pitch this to people that they need this, they don't mention people like Netflix, people like YouTube, people like Amazon Instant Video. You know, these people.
The streaming crowd.
The streaming crowd. The streaming crowd is everywhere. Nobody gets Netflix on disc anymore. I mean, $8 you can get roughly 6 Blu-rays from Redbox in that time.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, you could get so many Van Damme flicks and Chuck Norris films.
Yes, and Steven Seagal is another big one.
Yeah, and movies that sound suspiciously like Hollywood blockbusters, like The Day the Earth Stopped.
So, yeah, I just think it's a huge win for us consumers, it needs to be noted that Comcast is now a huge content provider in terms of just being a service provider. So they own a lot of the content. They're the controlling partner of NBC Universal. You know, they're this big company out there that is really getting work done, as they like to say.
They don't like to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You ever seen the documentary by Spike Lee, getting work or doing work or something like that?
Do the Right Thing?
No.
No, that's the only thing I've seen.
He follows Kobe Bryant around for a day or two.
It's right up my alley.
Well, you are from L.A.
Yeah, I'll be watching it tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, back-to-back games for the Lakers.
That's one of my favorite pursuits.
Yeah. You sit next to Jack and Keith Sutherland's father.
Donald
Sutherland.
Yeah, I love Donald. He's a good pal of mine.
Yeah, out in L.A. You know, playing golf with Bill Murray.
No.
What about Sam Jackson? I bet you play a few rounds of golf with him.
I run into Sam Jackson at the liquor store sometimes.
You know he does not like hot spacho. So, next topic. Whale Watch.
Whale Watch was really in your slideshow, Joe?
Yes, Whale Watch is in the slideshow.
Are we talking about the Hartford Whalers or the actual whales?
You better believe the... Hold on, I'll pull my notes up here. You better believe the Hartford Whalers.
Has there been a little rumble in the news about that lately?
NHL. Well, hold on, let me pull my notes up. Well, this is going to be an ongoing segment that I'm going to do over the next few months called Whale Watch, which is going to feature teams that should be or could be moved to Hartford, given the right circumstance. Team number one, I'm going to talk about the New York Islanders.
I was going to wonder about that one.
They're having issues. The Nassau County voted down a stadium about 6 months ago. There's talks about bringing them to either Brooklyn, which would be kind of far from their fan base and kind of close to the Rangers and the Devils, or seeing if they can build a smaller stadium or build a stadium in Flushing. Right now, there's not been a lot of traction yet. The easiest would be to move them to Brooklyn, but they could meet some fierce opposition from the Rangers. An excellent place that needs a team that would probably be willing to build a stadium would be Hartford.
Yeah. Well, how do you think our current governor stands on a Whalers reunion?
Well, if he's against the Whalers reunion, everybody should vote him out. There's no place in Connecticut for a governor that's not pro-Whaler.
You need people to be pro-submarines, pro-whale.
Yes.
Pro-nutmeg.
I think there's nothing more intrinsic about Connecticut. You know, Connecticut was during the Revolution gave a lot of supplies, a lot of rations, a lot of soldiers to the Continental Army. There's two things that should be remembered about Connecticut. They're one of the largest reasons that we won the Revolution in terms of just the logistics of it all. And two, the Hartford Whalers. You know, that green
You're saying
uniform.
the Hartford Whalers won the Revolution?
No, I'm saying there's two things.
I think we're going to have to go on record and say the Hartford Whalers are the reason that we won the Revolution.
No. Ken Burns said there's three things people remember America for: jazz, baseball, and the Constitution. In Connecticut, there's two things people remember for: the Revolution and the Whalers.
I got you.
If Ken Burns is watching out there, I would hope, beyond hope, that he'd be willing to do a documentary about hockey in Connecticut.
Isn't this only broadcasting in Wallingford?
It's broadcasting all over the world at WPAA.tv and on the internet, on YouTube. It's going to be on there.
Oh, man, we cracked into the World Wide Web finally.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I know you're still using your next station to connect.
I got dial-up.
Dial-up? Or what's that, 28K?
56.
Wow, you upgraded.
Oh, yeah, I'm cruising now.
Yeah. Do you still have the serial wire running from your computer to your modem, or did you actually get one on board?
I don't know. I have the maid take care of all that.
Maid?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you were doing that well enough to get a maid.
I'm not.
Yeah. So.
What's the next team?
The next team?
Yeah, you got into the whole thing about New York.
Oh, no, I thought I had a big thing about New York. It's about moving a team to Connecticut. I think, you know, over the administration, that was the Rowland administration, he let the Whalers go in order to be able to try to elicit another franchise into.
A certain football franchise, one might think.
Yes, and he actually got him to sign a contract saying you're moving, and that's it. And somehow they managed to break that and then paid for the stadium themselves.
You can't really beat the Patriots in a legal battle, not even if you're the state of Connecticut.
Well, they clearly lost. And they did not build up a stadium. And now we have Rensselaer Field and Connecticut Convention Center as the fallout.
And every couple of years, you get to see some 60-year-old rock show. You know, whether it be the Stones or the Police.
The Stones, the Police, U2. Did U2 ever come through there?
I have no idea. Can't confirm or deny that.
I don't know. You like touring around with musicians, like you don't.
Yeah, not like high-profile musicians. I keep it real small scale.
Real small.
Yeah.
How small?
You know, like the Michael McDonald era tribute band of the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah. I think we're going to go to a PSA soon. But
well, you were right about the youth. They were taken care of in that first PSA.
They were. The youth were. You know, for us, the youth is a big part of the show. And
they're our primary demographic.
Oh, so here's something we can go into now, my next topic. How about Whopper? Ooh.
Who you got?
Who we got? Hello?
Hey, Joe.
Oh, this is Andrew S. from Little Beach, Long Island.
Yes, it is. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. We actually have a title for you somewhere.
Oh, good. Yeah. So how's the show going so far?
It's going all right. How are things out on Long Island these days?
Long Island is still pretty long. It's still pretty long.
Yeah.
What are we discussing today?
We discussed a few things about Dark Shadows, the flop.
Yeah. Big flop. I mean, I don't know. I mean, with that big of a budget, rumored to be upwards of $165 million, I don't know how they're going to make all that money. I haven't really checked what it's doing worldwide, outside the U.S., but I know in the U.S. it had just ran into the Avengers juggernaut.
Well, Joe seems to think that the Europeans will always love Johnny Depp and support his box office.
I totally agree with that, but I don't know what they sold. I don't know how much of that, the rights to the profit over there they sold. Like if they're bringing it to Europe to get all the money, or if they pre-sold it and then they don't get to see any of that money, and they got to make their money back in the U.S. I don't know.
Who should be fired for running it up against the Avengers?
I don't know. Someone messed up. Someone messed up big. I mean, no one. I don't know. Someone at some studio should have thought, yeah, well, this is great counter programming, and besides, the Avengers in the second weekend, it will totally be done. Well, I mean, it made $100 million in the second weekend. I mean, that's obscene as far as the success of that movie goes. And then the biggest obviously the biggest weekend of all time. And then, I don't know. Also, too, it's a remake of a 1970s or 60s,
It's something like 1966 to 1972.
Yeah, exactly. Which actually is on Netflix, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, although I am a little bit ashamed to admit this, but I actually watched an episode of it last night.
Oh, did you watch the first one?
I watched the first episode on Netflix last night, and it was pretty bad.
It opens with a drunken argument between two characters in a hall.
But you don't know where you are. You're absolutely right, by the way. But you don't know where you are, and you're just like, what's happening? And then you just like, it was bad. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I thought 1966 would get some color.
Well, then maybe the movie was a huge triumph.
Well, let's be fair. The show changes rapidly in the first season, towards the second season. It becomes more paranormal. I mean, the budget is never going to be great. Well, no, it was never great in it, but it did go color. I believe it's the first. Either that or Have Gun Will Travel. Have Gun Will Travel is older than that, but it was one of the first primetime soap operas in history.
I mean, I believe it. Joe, are you a fan of Dark Shadows, the TV show?
No, I'm not a super huge fan. I'm more of a fan of Have Gun Will Travel, personally.
Okay, but you knew a lot about Dark Shadows all of a sudden. I mean, that was kind of the original series. That was pretty cool.
Well, I used to watch the sci-fi marathons in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you met. This is I don't know if you're watching the show. This is Harold Bigsby. He's traveled in from L.A. He just flew in. He decided to co-host my show. He's following a Doobie Brothers tribute band that actually only does Mike McDowell era.
Michael
Doobie
McDonald.
Michael McDonald. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have to pick the Doobie Brothers era to follow, Michael McDonald would be the best to do.
I mean, What a Fool Believes. That's a celebrated classic.
That's a powerful song.
But no, I know a lot about the old TV shows. F Troop. That's my I was going to say something really inappropriate there. That's my crap.
That's your thing, Joe?
That's my thing. I like 1960s TV shows, like F Troop, Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island? I don't know. Gilligan's Island's a little too goofy for me. I don't know.
Well, the 1960s in terms of television was the height of the goofiness.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
and
true.
also in comic books and just entertainment in general was pretty silly.
There was just when you have a Vietnam War going on, half of the country is going to go to the protesting stage.
And I think that's what led to the darkness of late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, that just some of it's just going to go to that dark, and someone's just going to go to that goofy just to be like, let's pretend that's not happening, and let's just be goofy.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a response to 9/11. We had a lot of different movies that some were really heartwarming, and like if you look at Steven Spielberg, he does The Terminal, which is very heartwarming, and then he does War of the Worlds, where the war is basically destroyed by strangers.
Yeah, like a paranoia / heartwarming kind of phase in his life. Yeah.
Spielberg covers all his bases.
Joe, can I ask you a question? What did you feel, or how do you feel about the at once sure thing prospect and now no longer, not a sure thing, but still out there about a remake of Have Gun Will Travel starring Marshall Eminem Mathers?
I've been hearing a lot of things about this.
I think I broke the story to you.
Yes, I was on the conference call with Harold last week. He was in L.A. Talking to somebody on the boulevard.
Fitz.
Was it Brian Glazer?
Talking to Fitz. But yeah.
Would you watch that? Would you see that? Would that be something, as a fan of Have Gun Will Travel?
I'm going to have to see how the production shapes up, the rest of the casting, the actual finished trailer. I'm not going to prejudge it based on Eminem not being a cowboy in my eyes.
Andrew Schmidt from Little Beach, Long Island. I don't know if you can't see the title right now, but if you're by a computer, take a look at it.
It's Andrew S. like Superman.
Yes, like Superman.
Yeah. But you're from Long Island, LI, the old LI Express.
Yeah, LIRR. So what else is going on, Joe? Joe, have you played Diablo 3 yet?
Yes, you missed that earlier segment. I played it. You can't stay on too long without being disconnected. Great game. I had a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on with it. You haven't actually had a chance to see any of the footage or anything,
How
right?
many Tymans out of 5 does it get? Like 4 Tymans, 5 Tymans?
I'll give it 4 Tymans. It's 4 Tymans.
Nice.
So that's above average Tymans right there.
Yeah, that's above average.
That's a lot of Tymans. Joe doesn't give the Tymans out very easily.
I'll make a credit. I'm not going to make a title. Where it's going to be like a
There's a picture of your face smiling.
No, what about this? It's a picture of my face on a tap, like a beer tap, and then I have 4 cups or 5 cups,
seems
and I
like
can
an
fill it up.
advertisement for beer.
No, it's Tyman On Tap. I'm filling it up.
I guess that is
It's
pretty
all.
good.
We gotta. Hey, listen. We gotta keep this. We gotta keep the brand. Strong.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. You called in when you called in. I was about to go into my next topic. You brought this up, and it was tweaked by Mr. Howard Greenspan in Fairfield. Instead of doing the Big Mac challenge, I'm gonna do the Whopper challenge, because Whoppers there's more changes between one Whopper to the other. They're sloppier. They're a little bit messier. They're a little bit different. They're a little more homemade feel to them. I think I'm going to do. I have a title: Whopper versus Big Mac that we can bring up here. I think that I'm going to switch it to the Whopper challenge and go across the state of Connecticut. You're more than welcome to join. This road trip and get some Whoppers.
I'm going to gain about 8 pounds on that trip.
I'd be okay with that. I'll just bring my aloe juice. Keep my digestion up. You know what I mean? Keep it strong.
Yeah.
Just tie a rope around your waist real tight.
Come on, yeah. Pain is gain, my friend. Pain is gain. Joe, the only thing I disagree about the Whopper versus the Big Mac, and I'm okay with the Whopper. I'm okay with that. I think it's fun. But are we going to order the same Whopper every Burger King, or are we going to mix it up? Because we have to order the same Whopper technically to see which Burger King in the state of Connecticut makes the best Whopper.
I'm going to say the Whopper with cheese. But you don't like cheese, though. That's going to be a problem.
The same ingredients on every one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Actually, you don't like cheese. How about you just do the Whopper? I'll do the Whopper with cheese.
All right, and we'll see which one is better. We'll see, what can they make better.
You should each have half of each other's.
He doesn't like cheese. I think he's lactose intolerant.
I'm not really a cheese person, my friend.
But you can't have it without cheese?
I will not.
You'll
not get a McDouble. I will. Here's a true story. Tuesday night, I go to McDonald's after class. I need a quick bite. I order a double cheeseburger. She says, "Oh, I got you a McDouble." I said, "You're taking that back and getting me a double cheeseburger."
It's also the McDouble's cheaper, so she was trying to rip you off. Huh?
No, well, she bring it through as a
Oh,
McDouble.
okay.
I was willing to pay the extra 60 cents it is now for that piece of cheese because that piece of cheese is worth it.
You should just
Joe,
carry
can
some
you taste
cheese in your
that?
car.
What?
Joe, can you taste that piece of cheese? Honestly,
He insists.
I can't because the meat's stuck together, so it's like this, just biting into a lot of meat. There's nothing breaking up the meat. It's just meat.
meat. You don't want the meat sweats, right, Joey?
Oh man, as somebody of Italian descent, meat sweats is a major problem when you're eating some gabagool.
Okay, so are we gonna do the Whopper challenge? I'm down. I don't care. Cheese, no cheese. I'll take my pills beforehand. I don't care. Let's just do this.
Are you actually lactose intolerant?
No, it just bothers me. I just don't like cheese. I just tell people that just so when they like try to give me cheese, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm lactose. No, totally not. It's BS. I just hate cheese, to be honest with you.
Okay, here's another topic. Let's do it quickly, and I think we're going to have to wrap up soon. We're going to have to go to a PSA. What is your opinion about moving to Long Island? Since you're from Long Island, what was your opinion about moving the New York Islanders to Hartford, Connecticut?
That would be really cool, but I mean, the Islanders are such a listen. All right,
They have no stadium anymore, though.
Yeah, okay, but you know what, Joe? Remember how bad we felt? I mean, I'm a Rangers fan, so I didn't really care when the Whalers met, but I actually did care when the Whalers met because it was the only pro sports team in the state of Connecticut. Remember how badly you felt that they moved to Carolina? Do you really want to do that to a different fan base?
You know what? They have so many options in terms of sport. The state of
New York
Connecticut
is just overloaded with sports teams on every category.
But here's the
yeah,
thing.
but the Islanders are the island. I mean, that's like Long Island. It's not really. I know it's New York, but I mean, no one in Westchester County is rooting for the Islanders. You know, that's a Long Island thing.
But here's the thing. The state of Connecticut did not have a referendum on whether to build a new civic center, and they didn't. And they never had that referendum. In Long Island, they had the option of voting for a new stadium in Nassau County, which would be primarily state-funded, which would raise taxes on an average of $60 a household in the state of Long Island a year for the next 5 years, something like that. And
Yeah,
they
but you
decided to
can't-
vote against it.
You can't say that because then you're just saying that, like, oh, you're not a true sports fan because, you don't.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if they can't feel as bad about losing a team they weren't committed
You were
to
saying
having.
they were given the choice of throwing $60 in the hat and keep it moving
Yeah.
to the neighborhood, and they didn't do that. So then if they go to Hartford, it's their loss.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
All right. I listen. You know what, Joe? Honestly, I was against this, but now I'm more for this. It would be a waste if they moved into Kansas City like the plan is now.
That'd be horrible. I mean, it's warm. I mean, it's really warm in Kansas City.
I mean, Kansas City needs a basketball team long before they need an NHL team.
I mean, they had a basketball team. It didn't last there too long.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a different. I mean, listen, Oklahoma City. Look at the success Oklahoma City has. I think if you put a team like the Supersonics that became the Thunder in Kansas City, I think that team, the town would do well. A team in that town would do well. But an NHL team in Kansas City, that's not good, Joe.
It's
That's
just
not good.
you know what's not good? An
One Tyman out
NHL
of 5
team
Tymans.
in Phoenix wasn't good, and they've been financially have not been solvent at all. They are basically in Phoenix because Commissioner Gary Bettman said we will have a team in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have been moved to Ontario 2 years
They probably
ago.
will be. Eventually, they'll be moved to Canada. I really believe, whether it's Hamilton or another city. I mean, there's always talk about putting a second team in Toronto, which kind of seems crazy to me, but whatever. They'll move that team. I really believe the Coyotes will be moved. I mean, because eventually, who's going to want to keep that team there? There's no one's going to buy that team from the NHL and say, oh yeah, I totally want to keep it here in Glendale of all places. Glendale, Joe. Glendale.
Yeah, it's not even Phoenix. Phoenix, you got some of the retirees, the children of the retirees that like. They love their sports from back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
need to be sending any
It's like the
ice
Florida-
rinks to Phoenix, though.
Yeah, it's the Florida baseball problem. All the people who move to Florida, they're not Rays fans, they're not Marlins fans. I mean, some are, but most of them are rooting for the teams that where they used to live.
The huge problem with the Florida Marlins is that they put them an hour and a half away from Miami. Like, imagine if Fenway Park was in Manchester, New Hampshire. Like, who would go to it? Nobody would.
No one would go to it. It's very true. Well, Joe, listen, I enjoyed the show. Wallingford, good job keeping him on the air. Keep voting to make sure he stays on the air.
All right, there's one last question for you. $38 tomorrow, Facebook. You buying?
$38 a share?
38.
Yeah, 38 share.
Yeah, 38 share.
No, I'll keep my money. I'll keep my money for something else. I'll look for the next IPO. I mean, it's going to go up. Obviously, I don't think it's going to go to $300 or even $70, but it will
Not
go
if
up.
everyone buys it.
Yeah, that's true too. But I don't know. No, I'll keep my money. I'll keep my $38. I'll get a couple pizzas instead.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect idea.
So,
have a good one, man. I enjoy the show. Wallingford, keep voting. Keep this gentleman on the air.
all right, we're going to go to a PSA, come back and talk about the Facebook IPO and wrap it up.
All right, see you, Joe.
See ya.
We're still here.
They're still here. Thanks, Andrew, for calling in. From,
check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Here we are.
Yeah, we're back. Back in the saddle again. We're going to talk about the Facebook IPO. Big deal. It seems like it almost came out of nowhere. We were waiting for years for this. Mark Zuckerberg's like, I'm going to wear a hoodie. I don't care what you say. They got the symbol. They're on the NASDAQ, which is a 4-letter stock exchange, and they got the symbol FB. That's like getting a 1-letter on New York Stock Exchange.
And how about one of the founders wanted to renounce his American citizenship in order to not pay tax on that?
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, we're actually, it's an interesting topic you bring up. We're at a record pace of dual citizens renouncing their U.S. citizenship in order to avoid paying taxes.
And I think we know one local person who's going to do that very soon.
No. If anything, he's going to renounce his Hungarian citizenship.
Yeah. Although this is a big Hungarian town, let's give a shout out to all the Wallingford Hungarians. It's a big community.
Uda Kirasai.
Uda Kirai.
Uda Kirai. Uda Kirai.
Uda Kirai. All right, that was enough of a Hungarian shout out.
I work with somebody with the last name Kirai. They pronounce it Kiri.
Oh, they're a king.
Yeah. Well, yes. So, Facebook IPO, market cap of $104 billion. It's pretty ridiculous.
That's a lot of money for something that used to just be a bunch of college kids sending each other dirty videos. It's really gone up a notch.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty interesting.
I mean, every business has a Facebook page nowadays.
Yeah, some of them multiple Facebook pages.
Some of them too much.
Facebook, it's really interesting as a company how they have took their product and made it everything a part of their company. Like when you go into Facebook and you're visiting, let's say for a job interview, for business, anything, you sign into Facebook. There is no sign-in sheet. You sign into Facebook. It checks you in there, and that's how they track who goes. They're building. They have a kegerator in one of the guy's office, and every time you go in there, it puts a little picture of you on Facebook of being on being at that location.
I really don't want that much exposure.
It's a lot of exposure.
It is a lot of exposure, but most of it voluntary. People put pictures of their Thanksgiving dinners up there.
But I think if you worked for Facebook, you'd be more, let's put everything on Facebook.
Well, yeah, if you were an employee, you want to be the living embodiment of Facebook.
You know, it's a fun little company. They have chefs. They don't have a cafeteria. They have chefs.
It's a fun little company with chefs. I think that's what it's going to be known for when all is said and done.
No, they cook your food. They say you gain an average of 15 pounds when you start working there because you just can eat all the food you want until you burst.
That's true of every time I come back to Connecticut. Such rich food.
Well, you know.
Whether you're going to Wentworth's or...
Didn't that close down?
Did it?
Yeah.
And, you know, some other wonderful Wallingford establishment.
Wentworth's is now a convenience store.
That's terrifying.
There's 2 convenience stores on Center Street in
There's
Wallingford.
still sabbaticals.
Do they have food at sabbaticals?
They have food. They do sandwiches and salads and things.
But yeah, Facebook's opening a... we got a minute and a half to go. Facebook's opening a big engineering firm center in New York. They bought a bunch of patents. I mean, it's a great time to be Facebook right now. You know, they've had a lot of struggles in terms of proving their worth.
This is our time, Mark, as they say in the movie.
Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
Did he just like...
That was a little social network moment for us to ride out.
Go watch Social Network if you haven't seen it. It's interesting. It's probably full of crap, but it's interesting.
Is that a word you could just toss around at
crap. We can say crap, right? Crap.
That's a little too much.
I think there's another word we can't say.
Well, let's not say it right at the end.
I think there's 7 words we can't say. And one of them is not jailbreak.
Oh, no, jailbreak is done.
All right, well, everybody, have a good night.
This is Harold Bigsby and
Joe Tyman On Tap. I don't know if Harold's flying back to L.A. this week or not.
I don't know. I might just sleep at Joe's for a while in the kitchen, kind of eat his food.
I don't have much food.
Oh, I'm going to leave pretty quick then. All right, maybe I'll see you guys again. Come on.
Yeah, man. All right, well, I'll see you guys next week. We'll have some cool stuff to talk about. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube. Comment. Follow us on Twitter. Tyman On Tap.
And call about pizzas.
Call about pizzas. Next person that calls next week, if you call about pizza and give me your address, I will order a pizza and have it delivered to your house. Bam.